Hello students, so I am here with chapter 4 analytical chemistry. So this is the smallest chapter of your syllabus, but it is very important for your practical purpose. Okay, all the practical based questions are asked are given in this chapter, so they can be the part of your viva. Yes, definitely that will be in your practical exam, and yes, you have the questions in your board question paper also. So it is a very important chapter, and all equation based chapter. Okay, so very important, and yes, of course, requires a practice for writing the equation. Coming to analysis, what is the word analysis means? Analysis means to find out. So when you use this word in chemistry, then it is the perfect definition will be to determine the chemical components in a given sample. If a given unknown sample or an unknown substance is given to you and you have to determine its chemical composition, that process is known as analysis. Analysis can be of two types, qualitative as well as quantitative. Qualitative analysis is to identify the unknown substance with a series of tests or experiments which you do with the help of reagents. Okay, that you will have qualitative analysis, you have to do in this chapter, and the same qualitative analysis will be done in your practicals also. Okay, so again, qualitative analysis means just identification of an unknown substance with by performing various tests with reagents. And what is quantitative analysis? Quantitative analysis means to determine the composition of the mixture, not only identification but also the composition of the mixture. So that we will do later, but in this chapter we have to do the qualitative analysis. So qualitative analysis we are doing with the help of reagents. Now what are reagents? Very simple. Reagents are those substances which react with other substances. All the reactive substances. Reactive means which readily give you the result. Okay, readily change of color can be seen, readily evolution of gas can be seen, readily formation of precipitate can be seen. That is done only by the use of reagent, because these are the substance which readily react and give you the result. Because when we are performing practical in the lab, we can't wait for 2 hours, 4 hours or the entire day for the result to come. So we need all those chemical substance which readily react and give you the result, so that you can identify that substance. So reagents, very simple, the substance which react with other substances. Okay, so generally you are given a salt and you have to identify. That is the practical work which you have to do in the 10th class. So first we can get a hint for the salt just by observation. Just by seeing the salt you can have some idea of that salt, because some salts are colored salts. Okay, so when we are talking about the color of the salts, representative salts of representative elements or representative metals, they are almost colorless, means they are white in color. So all the representative elements along with ammonium. So ammonium, salt, potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, lead and zinc. These metallic ions, they are colorless ions. Okay, so their salt will be colorless, or you can say white in color. No specific color to determine or to identify. Same with the anions also, chloride, sulfate, carbonate, nitrate, bicarbonate, sulfide, bromide and acetate. These are the colorless anions. Colored compounds are formed by transition metals. Okay, because they have the dd transition. They have the transition of electrons from the one d subshell to the other d subshell, due to which they are showing this specific, they are colored in nature. Okay, as well as they are magnetic also. So colored ions are of course cuprous and cupric, they are blue in color. Ferrous, green. Ferric will be reddish brown. Nickel also green. Chromium green, and manganese pink. Okay, so when you get a blue salt, you can think okay, it may be copper salt. When you get some greenish salt, you can think okay, it may be iron, chromium or nickel. Okay, and when you get reddish brown, you can think okay, it may be a ferric salt. So you have to do the test you have to perform, because everything will be written with the complete verification. You can't only think that yes, it may be this salt or that salt, but yes, Just you have an idea first, then you can start your practical. Okay, so what procedure we are performing here? When we have to find out the metallic ion which is present in the salt, we perform the double decomposition precipitation reaction. Actually, this is based on a reaction which you have already done in acid, bases and salts. You know, I hope you remember that topic. Bases or alkalis when you were studying. So strong alkalis, they have the property to decompose salt of heavy metals, and which gives you the colored precipitate of their respective hydroxide and another salt. And with that color of the precipitate, we can identify the presence of the metallic ion in the salt. Okay. So double decomposition to hai, because we are using two compounds which will decompose and exchange their radicals to form insoluble product. One of the product will be insoluble, which is a precipitate, and another salt. Okay, तो ये एक precipitation reaction है. तो हम इस reaction में क्या करना है, हमको जो given salt है वो लेंगे, plus उसमें हम specific reagent add करेंगे which will readily give you the test and readily give you the result of that colored precipitate, which with the help of the color you can identify the metallic ion present. ठीक है, तो reagents हम यहाँ पे कौन से use कर सकते हैं? We can use strong alkalis here, sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. Both will be of same nature, of same type of product. Okay, just the difference will be sodium hydroxide use करेंगे तो you will get sodium salt, potassium hydroxide use करते हैं then you will get potassium salt. Also you can use ammonium hydroxide, though it is not a stronger base, but yes, it also has fast reaction with the salt, and it also gives the result very soon. So we can use any of these reagents to do the same test with the salt, and we get the colored precipitate which will give you the idea of the metallic ion which is present in the salt. तो हम कौन सा प्रोसेस यूज़ कर रहे हैं? वी आर गोइंग टू डिकम्पोज द सॉल्ट ऑफ हैवी मेटल्स. ओके, तो जब हम हैवी मेटल्स की बात करते हैं, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट कैल्शियम, फेरस, फेरिक, कॉपर, जिंक एंड लेड. These are some heavy metallic salts which we can decompose with the alkalis to get their hydroxides and another salt. Okay, तो लेकिन यहाँ पे हमको किस बात का ध्यान रखना है? Because as our product is in the form of insoluble precipitate, then definitely the salt with which we have to start should be a soluble salt. I told you many times, we can convert a soluble to a soluble substance, we can convert a soluble to insoluble substance, but we can never convert an insoluble to another insoluble. क्योंकि हमें पहले से पता है कि हमारा जो प्रोडक्ट है वो एक insoluble precipitate है, तो हमारा जो metallic salt हम यहाँ पे यूज़ करेंगे in respective metals का, that should be the soluble salt. Okay, so when we are taking calcium, never use calcium sulfate here. You know, याद कर लो बिल्कुल, insoluble salt है calcium sulfate. So you can use either calcium chloride or calcium nitrate. और एक बहुत ही easy तरीका मैंने बताया था, अगर थोड़ा सा भी confusion है mind में which salt I have to write here, then you can simply write their respective nitrates, because you know nitrates are always soluble. So we can use calcium nitrate or calcium chloride. Okay, what we have to do, we have to decompose it with strong alkali. You can use NaOH or KOH. Now what will happen? Double decomposition होगा. Calcium will combine with hydroxide and sodium will chloride, but this hydroxide will be an insoluble one, क्योंकि आपको पता है सोडियम के नीचे जो भी हाइड्रोक्साइड्स हैं almost they are insoluble. So calcium hydroxide plus the sodium salt. If you are using potassium hydroxide, then in place of sodium you will get the potassium salt. Okay, now how the observation will be seen here. When calcium salt are decomposed by strong alkalis, white precipitate of calcium hydroxide will be formed, which will be insoluble in excess. Insoluble in excess का क्या मतलब है? Excess means once the precipitate is formed, देन इफ़ यू ऐड एक्सेस ऑफ द एल्कली, उसी प्रेसिपिटेट के फॉर्म होने के बाद उसी के ऊपर अगर आप और एल्कली ऐड करते हैं, then what will you observe? The precipitate dissolves or it remains insoluble. That also is the part of the reaction. क्योंकि कई बार ऐसा होता है, जैसे ही आपने सॉल्ट में एल्कली ऐड किया, वेरी सुन यू विल गेट द प्रेसिपिटेट, बट ऑन एडिंग द एक्सेस ऑफ एल्कली अगेन द प्रेसिपिटेट में डिजॉल्व. तो वो हमको कंप्लीट रिएक्शन करना है, एक्सेस में एल्कली को ऐड करके फाइनली देखना है कि सॉल्युबल है या इनसॉल्युबल है. सो व्हेन वी हैव एडेड strong alkalis to calcium salt, readily it will give you white precipitate of calcium hydroxide. calcium hydroxide white ही होता है, white precipitate के फॉर्म में आएगा ये, and it will remain insoluble. स्पैरिंगली सॉल्युबल भी लिखते हैं, यानी कि बहुत थोड़ा बहुत पार्ट इसका डिजॉल्व हो जाता है, लेकिन इसको हम इनसॉल्युबल ही कंसिडर करेंगे. सो इट विल रिमेन इनसॉल्युबल इन एक्सेस. नाउ कमिंग टू द सेकेंड, फेरस. फेरस सॉल्ट में हम यू कैन टेक एनी ऑफ द फेरस क्लोराइड, फेरस सल्फेट, फेरस नाइट्रेट, आप कुछ भी ले सकते हैं, बिकॉज ऑल दीज सॉल्ट्स ऑफ फेरस आर सॉल्युबल. सो अगेन वी हैव टू डिकम्पोज इट विथ NaOH. डबल डिकम्पोजिशन होगा. सोडियम विल कंबाइन विथ सल्फेट एंड फेरस विथ हाइड्रोक्साइड. सो यू विल गेट फेरस हाइड्रोक्साइड का प्रेसिपिटेट हमको मिलेगा, और इसका जो स्पेसिफिक कलर है वो डर्टी ग्रीन. Okay, so you will get the dirty green precipitate of ferrous hydroxide with sodium salt. Okay, so when you add sodium hydroxide to a salt and you get a dirty green precipitate, then readily you can get the idea, yes, the ferrous ion may be present in the salt. फिर हम उस फेरस आयन का कन्फर्मेटरी टेस्ट करते हैं. कन्फर्मेटरी टेस्ट भी ज़रूरी है, बिकॉज वी हैव टू डू एवरीथिंग विथ फुल वेरिफिकेशन. हम कोई भी चीज़ अंदाजे में नहीं कर सकते हैं, लेकिन हाँ, इस डर्टी ग्रीन प्रेसिपिटेट से हमको एक हिंट, एक आइडिया मिल जाता है कि अगर हमने सॉल्ट में सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड ऐड किया और डर्टी ग्रीन प्रेसिपिटेट आया है, तो डेफिनेटली इसमें फेरस आयन हो सकता है. तो हम उसको फिर फर्दर उसकी कन्फर्मेटरी टेस्ट करते हैं. नाउ कमिंग टू फेरिक. फेरिक में भी यू कैन टेक एनी ऑफ द 3 salts, फेरिक क्लोराइड, फेरिक सल्फेट और फेरिक नाइट्रेट. लेट्स स्टार्ट विथ फेरिक क्लोराइड. नाउ वी आर डिकम्पोजिंग इट विथ स्ट्रॉन्ग एल्कली, सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड. डिकम्पोजिशन होगा सोडियम का क्लोराइड, फेरिक हाइड्रोक्साइड मिलेगा हमको यहाँ पे. ओके, सो फेरिक हाइड्रोक्साइड जो है, इट इज़ ऑल्सो अ प्रेसिपिटेट विच इज़ रेडिश ब्राउन इन कलर. Okay, reddish brown precipitate of ferric hydroxide will be observed with sodium salt. ठीक है, तो अब आपको क्वेश्चन कैसा आता है, हाउ कैन यू डिफरेंशिएट बिटवीन फेरस एंड फेरिक सॉल्ट? Very easily you can write, when we add sodium hydroxide to a ferrous salt, it will give dirty green precipitate, and on adding sodium hydroxide to ferric salt, it will give reddish brown precipitate. And very important thing, both of these precipitate, ferrous hydroxide का precipitate और ferric hydroxide का precipitate, both precipitate they will remain insoluble in excess. इन precipitate के फॉर्म होने के बाद जब हम एक्सेसिव ये reagent और ऐड करेंगे, then also these two precipitates will remain insoluble. Okay, so all these 3 precipitates will remain insoluble in excess. ठीक है. What type of question may be asked? अब जैसे कैल्शियम से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन क्या आएगा, what will you observe? जैसे ही क्वेश्चन ऑब्जर्वेशन का आया, आप समझ जाओ हमको यहाँ पे इक्वेशन इतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, लेकिन कलर ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. What will you observe when you add sodium hydroxide to calcium salt, first in little then in excess? When on adding sodium hydroxide to calcium salt in little, white precipitate of calcium hydroxide will be seen, which will remain insoluble in excess. इस तरह से पूरा आंसर देना है, एक्सेस तक, एडिशन तक का आपको आंसर पूरा देना है. और जब भी आप प्रेसिपिटेट के बारे में बताते हैं, डर्टी ग्रीन प्रेसिपिटेट इज सीन, तो उसके साथ साथ उस कंपाउंड का नाम भी आपको बताना है. Dirty on adding sodium hydroxide to ferrous salt, dirty green precipitate of ferrous hydroxide is seen, which remains insoluble in excess. Okay. नाउ कमिंग टू द नेक्स्ट मेटल दैट इज कॉपर. कॉपर का भी हम कोई भी सॉल्ट ले सकते हैं. यू कैन टेक कॉपर क्लोराइड, कॉपर सल्फेट और कॉपर नाइट्रेट. ऑन डिकम्पोजिंग इट विथ सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड, again double decomposition will give you copper hydroxide, precipitate of copper hydroxide and sodium salt. Now this copper hydroxide precipitate is pale blue in color. Copper hydroxide which is pale blue in color. So when alkali is added to copper salt, pale blue precipitate of copper hydroxide is seen with sodium salt. Okay, देखो हमेशा याद रखना, कॉपर का कोई भी सॉल्ट लो आप और यहाँ पे एल्कली, चाहे सोडियम हाइड्रोक्साइड लें, चाहे पोटेशियम हाइड्रोक्साइड लें, चाहे अमोनियम हाइड्रोक्साइड लें, द हाइड्रोक्साइड विल बी सेम, द फर्स्ट प्रोडक्ट विल बी सेम, दैट इज कॉपर हाइड्रोक्साइड. तो ये हमेशा पेल ब्लू प्रेसिपिटेट आपको ऑब्जर्व होगा ही होगा व्हेन यू आर एडिंग एल्कली टू एनी ऑफ द कॉपर सॉल्ट, because copper will always combine with hydroxide, that will be the one product, and the difference will be only in the second salt which is obtained. अगर हमने एल्कली दूसरा लिया है तो सॉल्ट पोटेशियम का हो जाएगा या अमोनियम का हो जाएगा. अगर हमने यहाँ पे कॉपर का क्लोराइड लिया देन सॉल्ट विल बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ क्लोराइड. अगर कॉपर का नाइट्रेट लेते देन सॉल्ट शुड बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ नाइट्रेट. नो चेंज विल बी देयर इन द फॉर्मेशन ऑफ द प्रेसिपिटेट बिकॉज इट द कंपाउंड इज सेम, द मेटेलिक हाइड्रोक्साइड. So this is the decomposition of these four metallic salts with alkalis, which give you the respective precipitate, and with the color of the precipitate you can identify the metallic ion present in the salt. अगर pale blue है तो कॉपर होगा, रेडिश ब्राउन है तो फेरिक होगा, डर्टी ग्रीन है तो फेरस होगा, और अगर वाइट है तो इट मे बी कैल्शियम. क्योंकि वाइट लेड का भी होता है तो हमको फर्दर एनालिसिस करनी पड़ती है एक्सेस एडिशन का क्या रिजल्ट है. नाउ कमिंग टू मोर मेटेलिक आयंस हियर. इनको मैंने सेपरेटली इसलिए लिखा बिकॉज we are going to perform test with zinc and lead, which are amphoteric metals. You know amphoteric metals? Amphoteric metals show the property of both acid and base, or they can react with both acid and base, okay, to give you salt and water. So when we are taking the salt of zinc, any salt you can take here, let's take zinc sulfate and decompose it with sodium hydroxide. So the first, when you add in little, then you will get the zinc hydroxide and sodium salt. Now very important thing is the color of this precipitate. The color of zinc hydroxide is gelatinous white. Gelatinous white means जिलेटिन लाइक, जैसे आपको लगेगा वैसलीन को पानी में डाल दिया है, कुछ चिकना चिकना सा प्रेसिपिटेट मिलता है, दैट इज जिलेटिनियस वाइट प्रेसिपिटेट ऑफ जिंक हाइड्रोक्साइड इज ऑब्टेन्ड along with the sodium salt. Okay, so this is the condition when you add sodium hydroxide in little. लेकिन फिर आप जब बाद में जिलेटिनियस वाइट प्रेसिपिटेट फॉर्म होने के बाद when you add excess of sodium hydroxide over it, तो क्या होगा? As zinc hydroxide is an amphoteric oxide, amphoteric metal का हाइड्रोक्साइड है, तो जब इसके ऊपर एक बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग एल्कली को ऐड किया जाएगा, अब ये तो स्ट्रॉन्ग एल्कली है, बेस भी है, एज तो ये तो डुअल नेचर शो कर सकता है ना, तो जब इससे कहीं ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्गर बेस इसमें एक्सेस में ऐड कर देते हैं, देन इट विल स्टार्ट बिहेविंग एज एन एसिड and the product will be soluble salt and water. Neutralization हो जाएगा and you will get sodium zincate, which is the soluble salt, and water. Now what observation you will have? This gelatinous white precipitate will dissolve and you will get a colorless solution. Colorless solution of sodium zincate will be seen. So the type of question will be, what will you observe when sodium hydroxide is added to zinc salt, first in little then in excess? When sodium or potassium hydroxide are added to zinc salt, first in little, gelatinous white precipitate of zinc hydroxide is obtained, which on adding excess of sodium hydroxide dissolves to give a colorless solution due to formation of soluble sodium zincate. और ऐसा क्यों हुआ? Because जिंक इज एन एम्फोटेरिक मेटल, जिंक का जो हाइड्रोक्साइड है वो एम्फोटेरिक यानी डुअल नेचर शो करता है, लेकिन वो डुअल नेचर तभी शो करेगा जब उसके आगे एक स्ट्रॉन्ग बेस ऐड किया जाएगा। अगर हम यहाँ पे उसके सामने एक एसिड ऐड करते तो वो बेस की तरह ही बिहेव करता, ओके, बट एज वी हैव एडेड अ स्ट्रॉन्गर बेस to zinc hydroxide, then it may change its nature and act as an acid to give you soluble salt and water. The same thing is seen with lead also. अब हम lead के salt को जब हम decompose करेंगे, always remember that only lead nitrate is a soluble salt. Okay, so when you decompose lead nitrate with sodium hydroxide, you will get white chalky white precipitate of lead hydroxide. Chalky white, बिल्कुल chalk जैसा white precipitate आता है, chalky white precipitate of lead hydroxide with sodium nitrate. Okay, now again lead hydroxide is also an amphoteric metal hydroxide. On adding excess of sodium hydroxide, again it gets dissolved, ये chalky white precipitate dissolve हो जाएगा due to formation of sodium plumbate Na2PbO2 plus water. Same reason, because lead hydroxide, as it is an amphoteric hydroxide, so when a stronger base like NaOH is added, it will start behaving as an acid and give soluble salt and water. So it may be read as sodium plumbate or sodium plumbite. कहीं कहीं sodium plumbite भी लिखा है, but the compound is same, Na2PbO2 and water. So you have seen all the observation. Calcium, ferrous, ferric and copper salt. So what observation you have when alkalis are added? On adding alkali to calcium salt, white precipitate is observed which remain insoluble in excess. On adding alkali to ferrous salt, dirty green precipitate is observed which remain insoluble in excess. On adding alkali to ferric salt, reddish brown precipitate is observed which remains insoluble in excess. And on adding alkali to copper salt, insoluble pale blue precipitate of copper hydroxide is observed with sodium salt, and this precipitate remains insoluble in excess. Okay, so all these precipitate, calcium, ferrous, ferric and copper, their precipitate remains insoluble in excess except of zinc and lead. Zinc and lead hydroxide, these precipitate, zinc hydroxide, the gelatinous white precipitate, and lead hydroxide, the chalky precipitate, due to their amphoteric nature, these precipitates dissolve in excess to give you sodium zincate, a colorless solution, and sodium plumbate, a colorless solution, due to the neutralization reaction and formation of a soluble product. Okay, so next part I will explain you in the next video, that is decomposition of ammonium salt.